On Museum, which is a pretty straightforward map, I'm going to show you the setup at the start of the game. This mercenary that spawns in the front is responsible for both cafes and preventing rushes to the cafes. So at the start of the game, you're going to shoot these glasses out right here. You're going to want to walk by the front door just to see if there's a sound cue and to prevent them from rushing the front door. Once you're past the front door, you're going to want to turn this corner right here, and you're going to listen if there's a security failure at Inside Cafe. If there is a security failure at Inside Cafe, you're going to want to cut them off right here. Now, a lot of times this is a decoy, but you have to respect it if there is a security failure on these lasers right here. So just confirm that they're not getting any time on your Inside Cafe. Once you've confirmed that, come around back over here. Now, I'm not going to go over mine placements, but I'm going to show you positioning. This exhibition vent right here is the most underwatched thing on the map. You want to make sure that no spies are getting through that exhibition vent. If you can do that, the only ways the spies are going to get to the back are through the back corridors. So as far as positioning goes, you're going to want to stand around this area right here, so that you can watch exhibition vent as well as Inside Cafe. A lot of mercenaries like to roam all around the front, which is a bad idea. You should have a nice defensive position, which I state on most maps. I think mercenaries should play much more defensively sound and watch objectives much tighter than they do. A lot of spies in this game get free hacks, and really, if you could prevent that, the mercenaries would win much more. So you want to stand right here, where you can quickly get to Inside Cafe, and you don't have to. The rotation isn't as far. It's playing on the outside of this, so you can watch Inside Cafe from right here, Outside Cafe, and Exhibition Vent, which are the three things that this mercenary right here is responsible for. Although another thing you can do is stand right here, and you can watch if they're coming through this vent. That's another possibility. You can kind of rotate between two. It really comes down to preference. But as long as you're watching both cafes and you're watching the exhibition vent, you're doing your job as this mercenary up front. Now, in my opinion, the other mercenary has a tougher job. You have to prevent them from getting through the corridor at the start of the game. So you're going to want to spawn in this elevator. Now, this mercenary is going to want to put mines down as quick as possible, because a lot of times you're going to have to help this mercenary up front at the start of the game. What I do personally is I rush 2 mines down in this corridor right here. And if you have time, rush a mine down in this corridor. All 3 of your mines should go in the corridors. Once they're in the corridor, I recommend standing around here. It really comes down to preference where you stand, but this mercenary at the start of the game should stand in this corridor. You should not leave this corridor at the start of the game. Your job as this mercenary right here is to help out with the front if the front mercs gets double teamed, and to watch these 2 corridors. These 2 corridors are everything. If you can prevent the spies on this map from getting to the back as least as possible, your job as mercenary team becomes infinitely easier. So do everything you can in your power to prevent the spies from rushing these 2 corridors right here. Now they can come through Monolith Vent, which really doesn't change anything. They can come from the ceiling or Monolith Vent, which are the only 2 sides they can come from besides this other vent, which is rare. If both spies are dead, another thing you can do as this mercenary is keep your flashlight right here while you're keeping an eye down here. And you can wait and confirm if the spies are coming to the back up top, or coming through here right there. If you don't see a spy at either, that means he's on this side of the building. A lot of the things as mercenary on this game, finding spies comes down to process of elimination. You got to know the routes the spies can take, and if you don't see a spy in either one of these 2 spots, for example, you know he's over there. You can apply this to many different maps and situations. Now, obviously, it's inevitable against good players that spies are going to get to the back sometimes, which is why I say this mercenary has the hardest job. He's got to go stop the back, which is almost impossible at times. I'm going to give you my opinion on how I would approach that if it were me. Is you obviously immediately want to get to the back. Now, personally, I concede 1 bomb. I think that's the best way to play this. I like to prevent a disc grab and to watch 1 bomb, and I like to completely give up My opinion, give up Exhibition if you can, because I think Monolith is much easier to secure. So if this spy gets to the back, you completely give up Exhibition, you try to prevent a disc grab, and you watch Monolith. Now, if the disc is grabbed, you're put in a difficult situation. He can rush around Exhibition side and try to isolate that one merc and get a disc return. Although, what I would do is stand around here. I'd probably stand about right here and just see what the spy is going to do. If that were me with the spy, I would probably go Exhibition vent. And if he does go Exhibition vent, you're probably going to want to go up front. Which the good news is no bombs are being hacked. So I would stand about right here. The disc is your primary concern, and the bomb is your secondary concern. Although you really don't want them to get the bomb either. You obviously don't want them to get either. But the disc is your primary concern here. So if the spy is rushing Exhibition side, it's your job as this mercenary to cut him off. This mercenary right here is responsible for cutting all spies off. And you don't want them to get in the ceiling. The ceiling is the last spot you want the spy to get. It puts you in a very tough situation. So this mercenary is, you don't want the spies to get to the back. Once they grab the disc, isolate one bomb, focus on one bomb. I would choose Monolith and try to prevent a disc grab completely if you can. Now, the other mercenary, once again, stands over here, tries to plays very defensively, try not to let them get any cafe time. I will say the inside cafe is the weakness in this position that I play, so you want to keep in mind that inside cafe will probably be hacked more. And you are also the last line of defense against the disc, as well as watching the Exhibition vent throughout the game. Now, if they do grab the disc, keep in mind they can hack inside cafe, which is the weakness to this position that I'm playing. So keep that in mind. But you want your mines immediately, once they grab the disc, to be around this area, outside, as a last defense. This mercenary right here is kind of the safety net. If he does get past your defenses from the other mercenary, it's up to you to get the kill. So keep in mind he can drop it off right here, but most commonly they're going to try to sprint through these doors. So you're just going to want to try to cut him off at every turn as soon as he turns the corner. Don't chase him, play defensive. I want to really try to get mercenaries on this game to play more defensive, and I think they'll have a lot more success. But that really is it for Museum. You want to prevent cafe time as this mercenary. The other mercenary watches the spies from getting to the back. And keep in mind, this mercenary I am right now is going to watch the Exhibition vent. If they grab the disc, the mercenary in the back is going to let them get one bomb. Try to prevent a disc grab, watch the other bomb, and this mercenary is a safety net. And that's it for Museum. It should be a win as Mercenary if you play it right. It's a pretty simple map.